If you want to come on live, let me know and I can invite you. Guys, I put you all on Gary's Army. It says invite you in, but you can mute and you can not show your face, mute if you want to. I didn't know if that would get you on or not, but the only thing that the link does is I can get you in the chat. I don't know how to send you a link yet to just let you know. All I know is to let you know that we're on, and it should be streaming on YouTube and it should be streaming on Facebook. Other than that, that's all I know right now. I've been lucky to get this far. So the only person that's in here that I know of is Adeline, because she wanted to let me see that she could leave a comment. So if you're there, say hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Anybody here? We're talking about Gary tonight. All right, so by default, it's friends only. I don't want this. I want this public. When streaming to your profile, Facebook sets the privacy friends only by default, even though StreamYard asks to make it public. If you want viewer comments to show up in StreamYard, you need to make your streams public on Facebook. I've got it public on Facebook. So if you're here, say hello. Let's go tell your mom and dad. All right, guys, I've been trying to get everybody together, and every time we try to get together, something comes up and we can't come together. So I've got to do this for Gary. We've got to do this for Gary. We've got to get his story out. I mean, I've said time and time again, he's sitting on death row since 1996 for a crime he didn't commit. We all know he didn't do it. So we're going to start from the beginning. We're going to start from how they even got an arrest warrant. First of all, they tried to help them find Connie after they found Tommy, and instead of them helping, they flipped it around and made them the prime suspects. And lied about how they just lied to tell them to get on. So I don't know. I need people to get on. I need to get this across. I need people to help me what to say. I need people to help me.
If you get on the phone,
oh goodness, Adeline wants to show her laboobies and lafufis. She wants to intertwine this in with Gary's story. So it's okay. We can do whatever she wants to do because it's apparently she's the only one that can get on and help.
Mama's trying to.
Hey Harvey, how are you? I can't do this. This is just, it's crazy. I don't know. I just can't get it to firm up. So whenever you're ready to do a live, let me know and we'll do it. As of right now, internet's doing okay. So thanks for jumping on. I appreciate it. Wanted to tell everybody too about, all this stuff that went on today about, no, that's fine. Y'all turn that off. But, wanted to get people, click on your profile. Okay, Harvey, let me see. I don't know how to, it's not letting me. Oh gosh, that's too much, babe. It's not. I'm through StreamYard. I couldn't get it. How do I do that on StreamYard? I couldn't get on just YouTube itself. I wasn't being able to get comments going, so I'm doing it through StreamYard. Let me see here, Harvey, if it'll let me do it this way. I can't. Yeah, I know. And what's strange too is I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm clicked on. It's telling me to show. Oh gosh, it hid you. No, it didn't. So I don't know, Harvey. I don't know how to do all this. Adeline's trying to help me click on the profile. It's not going to do it, babe. That's where we already were, and that's what I did. So let me see what this does. Here's my. I don't know what that just did. Have no clue what that just did. I think I just lost you, Harvey. Let's see. We will figure it out. Yeah. Hey, Callie, how is it looking? How's it sounding? Okay. She tells me good from the other room. I don't know what that new to streaming came up. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, there's the profile. Nope, nope. Close it down. Hold on. Present. I don't know. I can't get the profile. Harvey, do you want to come on? I think I know how to click you on, but I don't know how to get you as a mod. Don't click that because that's just bringing it up here. All right. I think I can invite you on, Harvey. Let me try. Click on your, okay, wait a minute. Here it says click on your profile. Trying. Well, it says click on profile. It's not clicking. Let me do this. Let me invite a guest. Let me see if I can do this. Yeah. Okay, it's copied. Let's see if I can invite Harvey on here. Well, Harvey, I can't get it to do what I want it to do. It shows me right here. It says I'll click it, and then it says there's your profile. But when I click on the profile, it won't let me do anything else. Resend what? Add a person. Invite the guest. Let's go to Messenger and invite him. Oh, I don't know where it went. I don't know where we went. It's the wrong one. The wrong thing. Yeah, it's not going to let me do it. Oh, Alan's going to try. Okay, you try.
Where do I press
I don't know. You said you were going to try.
print?
You don't want to print it or save it or any of that stuff. No. Hey, Harvey, I put this link on Gary's Army. I don't know if that will let you come on if you went on and get the link. Yeah, anytime, Harvey. I've been trying to do this for I don't know how long, but I appreciate you. I honestly do. And we need to figure out when I can come on your live and we can start talking about all this. Let's see who or what. I think what it is I don't know. I know it goes on Facebook and I know it goes on YouTube, but I was trying to do on YouTube and not have to go through StreamYard, but then I could get on YouTube, but then I didn't have any comments. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on. So I have, all right, where's my Gary's Army at? I have Callie and Harvey on here and Adeline. Okay, well, I have StreamYard, and that's what I'm coming through is StreamYard, but I can't really figure it out. I guess that you just have to, I guess people just have to get on the YouTube and the Facebook page when I'm on and get on, because when it says I invited on the Gary's Army, I did put the link on it, but it won't let me. I can't see how to get it to individuals, but I don't think there's my Facebook right there. I don't think that'll do it either. So, well, I don't know. Where's Judy at? She's always telling me when am I going to do this? When am I going to do this? But when I do it, she never shows up. Let's see. Let me take this down. Okay. All right. It's a couple of minutes behind. Okay. Harvey, I've got it connected to my Facebook and my YouTube from the StreamYard, but I think I just had my daughter-in-law tell me, she said she's in the other room and she can hear me, and she says it's a couple minutes behind. So from StreamYard, I connect multiple platforms. Yeah, I've got Facebook and YouTube too from it. Doing live today. I don't know where Judy's at unless she's taking her nap. Alan says text her. So, but yeah, but I have a thing day to tell you too about Gary today. His lawyers came to see him today, and this is the second time they've done this, and I don't know how they keep getting by with it. But so Gary has the new lawyers in from Alabama, so they're taking his case over. They've really not got to do anything yet because, of course, they have to get in and they have to get his the case and everything from Susanna. But two of the lawyers out of Nashville, the good lawyers, not the bad ones, went to see him today, and he got out there and they got 10 minutes before they ran him off. They said they had a emergency count that they had to do. So this is the second time that Gary's had lawyers to come and see him, and he's only got just a few minutes with them because the lawyers from Alabama tried to come down and see him here. It's been a few months ago, maybe 2-3 months ago. They got there and stuff, and they got 15 minutes with him before they ran him out. That kind of doesn't seem right that, here he is trying to fight for his life and his lawyers come to see him, and then the prison is able to run him out that quickly. So I don't know. So it's everything. I think I don't know. I can't explain this justice system. They don't want us to holler corruption, and they don't want us to say, but when you start looking at Gary's case, it's corruption. I mean, his case is corruption at its finest. And some people are like, well, and there's a lot of things coming out in Sevier and Blount County right now that, all the people want to holler corruption. Well, we've been hollering it since 1992, but nobody wants to listen, because if it doesn't happen to you, then nobody wants to listen to it. But when things happen to them, that's when everybody wants to holler corruption. Well, Gary was screwed from the get-go. So there's Adeline. Hi, Adeline. to, so, I just want to try to get this out, and I'm having a really hard time where to start, where to make it interesting. Like I said, we have that book out that Heather wrote her investigation of it, but Heather's is just a very teeny tip of it, what she got started for us, because I keep finding stuff as I read through these boxes of stuff. Hey, Judy, there she is, Harvey. We were just talking about you, Judy, wondering where you were. I'm going to sit down and hopefully do a live with Harvey soon. So I think I can get it on my phone pretty good. So it's just the internet connection is doing pretty good tonight on here. But that's right. No one is concerned until it happens to them. But I was looking at old newspapers, because back in the day I had not back in the day, but here just last year, I went up to the Mountain Press. And the Mountain Press was our newspaper back then. They had them on the front page. Now, this is before they went to trial. They had him on the front page, convicted, of course, before we ever went to trial, 182 times on the front page. So, they already had him convicted. They already had him convicted before they even went to trial. And when I read some of these articles, it makes me so mad what I read. I read one article, and this was after they had got convicted and was in prison. And of course, they were trying to do the appeal. Well, of course, his lawyers was, trying to get whatever information they had to get. So of course they had to get the judge's information, the DA's information. Thank you, Adeline. No, not one conduct violation, Judy, he's had in there. He keeps his arts and crafts, he calls it, to keep his mind off of everything. But anyway, I was reading this article, and in the front page it says that the sheriff and the judge and the DA and all of them had extra patrol because the inmates, Sutton and Dillinger, were asking for private information, and that they were it was information about their family, and it was information of this and that. And I'm thinking, why would you put that on the front page of the newspaper when they knew clearly that it was protocol, that they were asking for the things that they asked for? And that makes me mad, because they already had it tainted. And I have to be very careful with my words, and I have to be very careful about what I say. But because a lot of things were hearsay back then, and I understand that, at least sometimes 99% of the rumors that you hear in a small town, those rumors are right. I mean, they're fact, one way or the other. They're there to be a fact. But I was hearsay, and in my opinion, but hearsay is that the reporter back then, that she wrote everything, and it does sound like the DA wrote it, so I'm sure that part is Harvey said hi, Adeline. Well, say hi, you're on camera. But so I was told that she did everything that the DA wanted her to do back then time, because apparently her husband was in trouble with some cocaine charges and stuff, and he didn't have to go to prison after that. So that's one thing. And people say, no, they don't do that stuff. Yes, they do. And then I read an article about one of the detectives, and I had just read his little handwritten statements that he got back in the day about what he got from this person. And I'm reading, I'm thinking everything that he jotted down and everything that he had talked about, there were lies. But then I find the newspaper article where about 2 years later, he was also arrested and fired from the police department for cocaine charges. So, I try to be careful with what I say, and I try to choose my words wisely. But the more I look into this and the more I read about it, you dig deeper and deeper and deeper, and you find more and more things that, when you watch these TV shows, you think, well, that's just fiction. It doesn't happen in a small town. But I'm beginning to wonder if these TV shows don't have to have, where do they get their stuff from? Is somebody that got, that in their mind? I mean, they have they have to know something with these small towns. And the thing about it is it's not just Blount County. It's not just Sevier County. I have some friends that are doing a bunch of stuff out of, Sumner County. So it's these little towns that's had these DAs and these judges and these detectives, and I want to even add the TBI agents that have been in these towns forever, and they're what you call the good old boy system. It's Yeah, Judy, I know it's everywhere. And what kills me is how do they keep getting by with it? How do they keep getting by with it? They put so many innocent people. They put so many innocent people in prison for something they didn't do, but yet nobody else seems to think. They're like, oh well, they got in prison and they had a jury of their peers, and that's another thing. Gary didn't have the jury of his peers. He had to sit beside his uncle. They had same jury, same conviction, same everything. So when we do something, hey Mark, thanks for being here. Haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're doing well. But when I done lost my train of thought, and that's where I'm at on this. But they keep with Gary and the jury of his peers. Whenever we do anything, that's what the officials want to say. Well, he had two juries of his peers, and they both convicted him. No, he did not have two juries of his peers. He had the jury of his and somebody else's peers, not just his peers. And these jurors were tainted. I feel like there's something that could be done with that. But when you, I know, Mark, he's okay right now. I talked to him earlier, and he's a little down. I know you all heard about the execution we had back in August. Well, that was a really good friend of his, and we all got to know each other pretty well, and I got to be really good friends with his sisters and stuff. So that's taken a toll on him. It's like, like anybody, when you lose somebody, some days, you do well, and then some days you miss them terribly. And I think Gary's missing him terribly today. And then, of course, what they did to him about his lawyers, they came and he got 7 minutes with them, and that was about it, which, what are you going to do? There's nothing you can do about it. But anyway, the jury of Gary's peers. So what the thing about that with Gary and his jury is what doesn't make sense to me, and I don't understand why something can't be done just about the jury, because I thought that, when you mess with the jury, that was a big no-no. But, we had, like, when Gary's lawyers got up and told them that they didn't feel like that they could try Gary's case because they had never tried a death penalty case before. The judge told them, he said, well, yeah, Judy, they do a time limit. They do whatever they want to do in that prison, whatever. The lawyers still have to call making appointments. They make the appointments. They come and see them. They have an hour and a half to 2 hours. But this is the second time that his lawyers have came, and they've not got, like the first time they came, they didn't even get 15 minutes, and they drove from Alabama to Tennessee. And today they came, and it wasn't the Alabama lawyers, it was the Nashville lawyers, came to see him to talk to him about something. They got 7 minutes. So they do whatever they want to. But anyway, the thing with the jurors is that, so the lawyers didn't feel like that they could help pick a jury. So they gave them an expert jury picker, which she did great. When they had the jury, everybody was, like the jury. They had the jurors on there that said, you're going to have to show us evidence. You're going to have to show us facts. You're going to have to show us, hard evidence. not just circumstantial. We had the jury picked. We went to recess. We came back in a few days. That's how long recess went. It was a couple of days. Come back, and the judge said that they sent that jury home because they needed to pick a new jury. And the only thing that was is they didn't like the jury. Yeah, it's straight bullshit, Judy. We had a good jury. We had got to keep, excuse me, if we had got to keep our first jury, they wouldn't have come back with a guilty verdict. So the DA and them didn't like that. And so at whatever time they did motion hearing, and Gary wasn't even there for those motions. So he didn't know what had went on. So went back to court that time, and that's what the judge said. He goes, "I'm sorry to tell you this, but we're going to pick another jury." And then they talked about the other things, that the motions that got denied. I think Gary had 60-something motions that they did, and he got one motion that he asked for, and that was to wear his street clothes to trial. But anyway, so he also told him, he goes, "Well, we're going to have to pick another jury, and I'm sorry to tell you, we're going to let the jury pick her go." And of course, when they tried to say, we need her, the judge told them, okay, thanks, Harvey. I'll get with you and we'll do this live. I appreciate you. So anyway, so the judge told the lawyers that they had enough time with the jury picker when they picked that jury that they should know how to pick a jury. So we didn't get the jury picker. So we got so far into picking that jury, and the judge finally told them, he said, "You know what, if this is taking too long, for you all to pick a jury to try to ones you want, so I'm going to pick the jury." So somebody tell me what judge picks a jury. So the lawyers tried to dispute that or whatever. And the judge said, well, he goes, "You can stop me and you can ask the questions that you want to ask." And I probably need to get that out and read it to you all, but it was bullshit, just like Judy said. It was bullshit how they did it. So that's one of the big things that I don't understand, why these lawyers can't get Gary's case overturned, can't get him a new trial. I mean, it would be great if Governor Lee would listen to us and just say, yeah, this was wrong. He's done more than enough time. Let's go. And then, send him home. But that's one little thing. The first thing too was where they, talked about they had witnesses that they didn't have. And I'm gonna come on when I get with Harvey. I'm gonna have that together, and I'm gonna read those statements. We have the one that she gave 5 different statements. We have, so from the get-go, they had a secret grand jury, lied about the witnesses. They had lied. We had alibis. Gary had alibi after alibi after alibi, and they didn't care. And I was with him that weekend, but I was the girlfriend, and it didn't matter what I said because apparently I loved him and would lie for him, which I would never lie for anybody if I knew, that they'd killed somebody. So we'll get on in it because there is so much to this case that I don't know where to start. Yeah, I was with him that week, Adeline. I was with him that month for sure. What people don't realize is me and Gary had just started, deciding we were gonna make it together. We were gonna, get together. We were gonna raise our kids together. We were gonna build our home. We were gonna get married. We were gonna do all this stuff, and this just kind of got swept out from under us in a blink of an eye. So I've been on here for about 30 minutes, and this just kills me because I don't know where to start. Thank you, Judy, for coming. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Harvey, Adeline. I don't know where the rest of the crew is, but what I'm going to do is, well, he picked a jury. He's not going to say it was by himself, Mark. He's going to say he had Gary's lawyers there. I mean, we all were there, but the judge was the one that was asking the questions. It wasn't Gary's lawyers. So it was pretty much the judge and the DA, because this is the court too that DA stood up in court, and he told them, he goes, we can't separate those trials because we would have to let something walk. We simply just didn't have anything on him. And Mark, I want to get with you about that. Voir dire is the process. Yeah, it is. And they can't. Mark, I want to get with you. Maybe we can put our brains together and figure something out. But, we can't get anywhere, and every time we talk to the lawyers, they're like, well, it's this, it's that. They always have something to come up with why we can't do it. I think we can. And I mean, yeah, it should have been a mistrial right there. And they tried to do it a mistrial right there. There was so many times that they tried to do a mistrial, but I'm telling you, these DAs, they went as far, 2 DAs together went as far and went to a federal prison up in North Carolina to talk to 2 other guys to try to get them to give a statement that they knew that Gary had done this, try to get them to give a statement to drop their drug charges. No, they never got they had no Miranda rights read to them. I went through everything, and we went through it back at the time, and people's got to remember too, I was with Gary when he was arrested. Nobody read him his rights. Nobody did anything. They come in there like we had machine guns behind that door. That's what they did, and held guns on everybody. But they never read Gary his Miranda rights. And the whole time we were in the court, and they kept asking this person, did you read them the Miranda rights? No, so-and-so probably read the Miranda rights. And then they just kept on. Nobody in the court, nobody could say, yes, I'm the one that read the Miranda rights, because nobody read them their Miranda rights. They came in, they arrested them, took them to jail, and that was it. They had other people that they could have investigated, and they didn't. No, yeah, I thought so too, Mark, that the judge was supposed to oversee the prosecution, but no, that's not how that worked. And then I remember too, and I read it in the transcript, where Gary's lawyer even said they had their little thing where they took the jury out, and he even told the judge, he goes, I don't think they're understanding what you're asking them. And they didn't, because like I said, when we got Heather and she went and knocked on doors and talked to some of these jurors, some of them remembered, a lot of them remembered it, and they didn't think that Gary did it, but they were told that they had to give him the same thing as they did his uncle. But we even had one juror, he's like, yeah, I knew the detective, we were buddies, we went to academy together, I worked for the Blount County Police Department for 10 years. That man should have never been on the jury. And it's things like that. And every time we bring it up or something, they just try to, well, this, and well, that. Yeah. So I don't know. A lot of people that were small people back then, they got to move up the ladder pretty quickly. But the one thing is, and I'll get it, I've got all the articles from the Mountain Press that, like I said, convicted them before they even went to trial. But and that's what I'm trying to get people to understand. This does happen. It did happen, and it's not just Gary that it's happened to. I'm sure there's other people that it has, but people are afraid to come forward because they're thinking, oh, well, people are afraid to come forward just because of the consequences that would probably happen to them if they had it. But I want to get on. I want to get this started. I want any advice from anybody how we should start this and what we should do. I know that we need to try to do something, even if it's just a little snip every day, to get it going, to get it noticed, and then maybe one good live a week. And we're going to try to start doing that. And I've said it time and time again, but we're going to do it this time. We're going to have to, because we keep going down the line, and they're starting these executions in Tennessee, and they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop. Governor Lee's not going to do anything. He won't listen. So, I was called for jury one time, and I got up there and I told them that it was my next door neighbors, and I wouldn't do it. But I was also going to school too. And my exams were that week, and he dismissed me, not because I was their next door neighbor, but because he didn't want me to miss my exams, which I'm very glad that he did, because it would have been a hung jury because I wasn't going to convict nobody for nothing. I'm not going to do it. So they best never get me on a jury because I'm going to be that person that everybody's going to hate. And two, whenever Heather went and talked to these jurors, that's what a lot of them said. They were sequestered for 14 or 17 days. They were ready to go home. And it even says in the transcript, let's get this over so we can go home. It was, I want to think it was Memorial Day weekend or Labor Day weekend. I can't remember. But yeah, the Miranda rights should have been case null and void, but no, they didn't. It just went on. It just went right on through the courts. But and I'll tell you too, it went through the appeals court, and that's what a lot of people say too. He've had his appeals and stuff. Well, you don't have a good appeals either if you don't have a lawyer that does the appeal correctly for you, and she didn't do it correctly. But yeah, we just need help. You know, like I said, we've went to the Capitol, and we're going to go back to the Capitol in January. They go back in session in January. So, like I said, any suggestions, anything we need to do, anybody wants to help us, if you want to put this story on your page, go ahead and do it. We don't mind. We just need help. But I'm going to go ahead and get off of here because it's getting late, and I got to get up and go to work in the morning. And I've got to get some stuff together. But thank you, everybody that was on here. And I'll let y'all know when we're going to do this again. I want to try to be able to bring somebody on. And I'm going to fix this because I think with the StreamYard, it goes to my Facebook, but it doesn't go to the Facebook that I'm actually on, if that makes any sense, and figure all this out. So I love you guys. Thank you for joining us. Adeline, thanks you for looking at her La Boo Boos and her La Foo Foo. And Gary, thanks you. And we will see you guys later. Thanks. Bye.